All right, folks, welcome back for another Young Justice review, episode 19 of season 4, Upon the Razor's Edge.
Yes.
Shout out to the man Scott Hall, the late great Scott Hall. You know, gotta if you're gonna say Razor's Edge, and you gotta be cool like the cool guy himself. But nonetheless, this episode was a lot very informative. Everybody done laid their cards out, and we kind of see where everybody's sort of say what their plan and what their not only what their plan is going forward, but things they were influenced with or involved with in the past. And yeah, there's a lot of little gaps that I think people were complaining about. I think we got our answers now. So with all that being said, a very crazy episode. But let's kind of start off on the top of it with back to New Genesis. The Green Lanterns have now shown up. And with them showing up, you know, there was always going to be a comedic side to them. We already knew that. But beyond that, it wasn't just them showing up, but it's also because they're part of the council, and we all know that Rocket is trying to get some help from the new gods and them, and they pretty much are like, this is beneath them. It's like, we got other things to do. This is the very kind of synonymous factor here is kind of when Captain Marvel was called in, and Black Widow was like, hey, yo, y'all doing anything? We're kind of bored here on Earth. Just like, yeah, I'm definitely protecting the whole universe. You handle whatever's happening right there. So, but ultimately, they'll staying focused on DC properties. Let's start off with this. Like, what was your overall thoughts about the Green Lantern showing up and their whole banter upon what is a serious crisis for the New Justice League?
Oh man, you already know. You know, I absolutely loved it. You know, I had to throw a couple of my rings on just to, you know, represent the core. Yeah, man. I think this is really the first time we really get a close up of some Green Lanterns in this show, in the 4 seasons. Like they've been there in the background, but you never really see them. I mean, we had Hal. You know, Hal. Was it Hal? No.
Yeah.
The other Green Lantern from Earth, the funny one. Can't think of his name. Had the Brooklyn accent. Can't think of his name. They shown him.
Yeah.
We haven't shown Hal though. But yeah, we get the Green Lanterns is a part of this council. And like I said, we get a little bit more. And like you said, we get a lot of the 19 episodes in. We finally get what the heck was going on with them on Mars. Like that was like 13 episodes ago, with 14 episodes to get at this point, and we're finally getting the big mystery. We getting the reveal on Zord. What was going on with that? The whole thing with the Phantom Zone and how they were even able to get that there in the first place. So yeah. This episode has a lot of revelations, a lot of insight into a lot of the characters, including Zod's son, because you know his mom was creeping in the Phantom Zone before they got the so I just thought that was funny. She was just like, this man was just like a whole baby for a millennium. So it was a really good episode, man. Nice to see some Black Kryptonians out here, man. That's what's up. You know, too bad he's got to be a villain, but you know that's just what it is.
Yeah. A couple of things to mark with that. All right, so first of all, you're not talking about Hal, so you're talking about Guy.
God.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Cool. First off, I like this is gonna sound stereotypical as hell, but now that we actually are getting, you know, a very lengthy bit of dialogue from Lord Zod, the first thing I said was, please, as much as I like him, we do not need Kyrie voicing him as well too. He done already got like a bunch of other different people. Yeah, like he's like the token Black person to voice in DC. So it's just like, please no. And I'm not sure who's voicing him. I guess we could look that up. But that was the first thing I was just thinking, like, oh, now he's talking, please. Let's have somebody different here. But I think for me, you know, there was a lot of different things that kind of bring it to perspective here. An episode ago, we didn't see how all of these characters were all in a collision course with each other. You have the folks in the Phantom Zone. you have the Legion of Superheroes, and then you have Lord Zod and Green Martian. Now, I'm not even going to try to go after his name, but you was wondering, with everybody's focus on where is Superboy, he's in the Phantom Zone. Number one, like at this point now, you start to say, like, do all these folks actually know that they're actually all going towards a collision course as to either the safety or the final destruction of him? Because, you know, in the Phantom Zone, you're kind of in that middle area and whatnot. And it was cool how it all came together, but getting the backstory, but also understanding where everything's going to go forward with that. So I did like how it just, the right now saying this episode just made sense. It was all fleshed out, so it left to no mystery as to why things happened in the way it happened before. You know, the initial assassination attempt, the bomb, and with the bomb, we're having the last bit of kryptonite. Last bit of kryptonite for the kryptonite bomb that ultimately was supposed to have killed him. You know, it's just now that we understand everything, how that's working, like it just makes more sense, and now we know where everybody's going next with that.
The only thing on the table that still has me for a loop is, how is he in the Phantom Zone? If that bomb, because the Phantom, they explained that the Phantom Zone projector is done. Like there was no way for that to have happened. So unless the Phantom Girl, whatever her name is, had some type of power that allowed them to do that, that's the only way that I could think of that would have saved him. I think she does have some way to pull people into the Phantom Zone or you know, get out. So of course she's still unconscious, so we have no way of knowing that. And
I think that's what General Zod is going at, where he says, like, no, she's still alive. Like, you know, there's still a bit of her still there. So like, it's gotta point towards that, you know. And I think that's the last bit of perspective that we didn't get is from them. You know, ultimately, how did they get there? How did Lord Zod get there? General Zod got there. And then ultimately, what's their plan? Obviously to get out of there, but who is General Zod actually after at this point now? You know what I mean? And it could obviously mean that, you know, it's vendetta for the family. He's trying to get to his son. His son has not mentioned his dad being there right now, actively. So, you know, while they you know, mentioned that they were punished and was sent there, is he fully aware that they're still there, or at least his dad's still there?
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, so like, it's kind of interesting where that's going. Anyway, other part of this episode obviously has to go with Razor and his monotone voice, and just it's, you know, shows up with the blue ring, and it was kind of like, oh, okay,
the ring of hope
out here. Yeah, and here's the thing. The funny thing, he caught a flat trying to do some interdimensional traveling and ran out of juice. And at this point now, he is brought to
Kilowog.
Yeah.
Kilowog.
And, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, Kilowog, you know, finds him out in the middle of nowhere, and like, you know, they realized that he was a previous Red Lantern. Now he's blue, so it kind of just threw him off. And then we come into it, we find out that his goal was to get back to New Genesis to. Once again, we've come across Metron, who seems to be the key player in every, you know, all of this, all the time. Metron is keeping his red ring in the vault that he's trying to get back because he feels like he's not worthy of using the power of hope. You know, it's not working properly the way he wanted to, so he's trying to get back to New Genesis to get that ring back from Metron, who everybody just wants to beat on for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of sad because he's kind of like, oh, I'm all out of hope, so I figure I'll just get back to what I was used
Angry
to.
all the time.
Yeah. But in future developments, we see him now the bearer of both, which was freaking awesome, number one.
Definitely.
But there was minor casualties to it. I mean, number one, after my man Forager was like, definitely off his Keith Sweat this entire episode.
Who loving hard, boy.
He knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted to do, and his girl Forager almost took an L from it, but ultimately got their legacy eternalized because now they got statues on New Genesis. All
That's not how it was before.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Yeah, twice over, right?
Yeah, Forager trying to lay them eggs, man. He's about to risk his life. Just met this girl like 2 hours ago, bro. You don't know this girl.
So I mean, and I guess the other thing with this episode is again, like, you know, with the new Justice League obviously trying to abate abide help from the new gods and from the Green Lantern Corps, and as I said earlier, like they feel like this is beneath them. They still have to deal with that. But beyond that, Rocket still has home issues because her man is like, listen, I know you're trying to do whatever, but you need to take care of your son. And while he is seems to be getting on the right track dealing with his autism, it looks like the school system is going to provide some sort of resources for him.
Right. You definitely hear it in her voice and the character that she just wants to be so far from this. Like, without just outright saying that she doesn't want to do this anymore, you could tell this is not something that she wants to do anymore. Like, and she's using the superhero thing as an excuse not to be there. You know what I mean? To a certain point. And you know, we're an episode away from just that big blow up conversation of like, look, you know, you're either gonna be here for him 100% or you know what I mean? Like, so I mean, from the episode where the interaction with her on the train, like you could just tell she's just tired of dealing with it. She's tired of defending it. You know what I mean? This is not the life she wanted. And this superhero stuff is an escape because like she keeps bringing it up. Like, look, I'm out here working. Like, I don't got time to be dealing with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's your thing. So yeah, I'm the hero out here. Like, you deal with normal people stuff. So, I'll be surprised if this relationship lasts to the end of the season, because apparently these two characters have like a big age difference. Maybe I misheard it. But
I mean, he weirdly said that he knew her since she was Amastas' age. I mean, that's just
maybe they were kids together. Maybe they grew up together. Maybe that was how I was
worded wrong.
Right.
Pretty close to being creepy, but like we're going to assume the best here. I mean, that's the last thing the show needs to start to do is talk about predatorial tactics here, man. And like that would have
subject. So I mean, like
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we don't need to go there.
Man, I feel like that's going to be a big play. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen to her character, but definitely that's going to find its way back into the show before, you know, this is all said and done. Or at least before this arc is up, because we 2 episodes into the New Genesis thing so far.
Yep.
So I think everything gets like at least four episodes of like an arc, and then we switch over to a new thing.
Yeah. I
always love seeing Green Lanterns on screen, man. They're like my favorite space police group. So
yeah, I do too. I mean, I was always outside of like, you know, the bigger names and right. Batman, Superman. The Green Lantern was really the peak interest for me in terms of DC Comics. And I don't know if there's anything else we need to say. Do we need to talk about Darkseid at all? I mean, everyone's making deals. I mean, there's so much to make of all the different conversations that was said.
I mean, just how detailed like Zod's overall plot was. Like, they give you detail for detail how his intent was to, you know, they explained the whole thing with the Legion, and pretty much like he was the shadow on the wall that the Legion was trying to stop. You know what I mean? The entire time because he was trying to, for whatever reason, he thinks that, you know, Superboy was the inspiration that led to his parents being in the Phantom Zone. Well, he's the inspiration for the Legion that got his parents in the Phantom Zone, and they're permanently trapped in there now because of the Legion. And like I said, he gave detail for detail why he's doing what he's doing. Now, of course, we all know in a Legion where Darkseid is not going to end well. That's just what it is. Like, for whatever reason, Vandal Savage was able to walk away from whatever he had with him, and they explained that.
Yeah, they did. I was like, they explained that too. Yep.
But like I said, like we already know this is not gonna go well. But I hope we get a Kryptonian versus Kryptonian fight. You know, because if Superboy ever gets out of this Phantom Zone, so
you know what it is.
So I mean, I think they alluded to the somehow, some way they're going to be able to like reproduce a Phantom Zone projector, which you think would be the easiest solution. If you try and get your pops out, like you just go back in time. If you have the ability to travel in time, why not just go back and use the projector? Or is that some type of time weird time thing that you can't? What is it called? A paradox.
Yeah. And by the way, a lot of people are definitely very confident in stating that Wally's still alive too, with all these things. I think so too. Listen, really quickly, because I just looked this up. Phil Morris is the voice actor of Lord Zod. Okay, Lord Zod.
Oh, okay.
Guess who else he's the voice actor of?
On the show?
Yes. Noble Davis, the angry black man that is saying, come get your son. Come get Amastas now.
Yeah.
And then obviously, because this is mostly, I mean, this is, and I think it's a smart thing to do, especially with a lot of the versatility of voice actors, is always to do father-son or mother-daughter. And obviously he's voicing Drew Zod as well too. So there is definitely a lot of things that coming with Drew Zod being in the Phantom Zone, and with Superboy being there and Unconscious Phantom Girl. It's just all of this where are things going to go beyond this. It's a ton of questions everybody's trying to get you know, obviously the solutions to their plans, but ultimately folks are trying to get back to their folks, and also there's vendetta at hand. So we're going to see where things are going to go. This was a crazy episode with like a lot of detail, but also it should pique everyone's interest into learning like more about the lore, because now I'm starting to think, and with so much content everywhere, you know, unless you just got endless time, you can't consume it all, but it absolutely makes me want to learn more and more about the Lord Zod, Drew Zod, and then obviously different things about the Phantom Zone, because like my interpretation of what I initially thought it is and what I'm seeing and how they're talking about it now, at this point now, I'm just ultimately just a consumer of just knowledge. I'm just like, I want to know more about where this is going to go. So
that's kind of the fun thing about Young Justice, is that it's his own thing. Like, it's no original. I mean, obviously they pull from the material of like other characters, but it's his own original story. So there's no way to predict where this is going, what it's going to do. You know what I mean? This is not from like they're doing this arc, or you know what I mean, or they're doing the Death of Superman thing, or nothing like that. So whatever happens in Young Justice is completely unpredictable, at least from our end, because like we don't know how they're gonna do this, because this is like this alternate version of these characters. So it's always a fun ride to be able to actually watch something from a comic book source material and not actually know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the time spear is the other thing here, where even with him controlling it, that has to pique some other interest. Like if Mahala Faka, if he is whatever he's planning with his deal with Darkseid,
he's gonna portray him.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Especially with that very, very obvious statement of like, does it bother that you killed my sister's fiance? No, I wanted to thank you. I'm not sure if I buy that exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they definitely don't. So, I think, I don't know if that's it. Anything else you need to talk about?
No, that's it. I'm glad we got some lanterns. We got more insight into that story. If you ain't watching, this is the greatest cartoon on HBO Max. So I say it every week. So check it out.
Well, folks, hopefully we covered everything for tonight's episode for you. Definitely jump in the comments, let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, your thoughts, your theories, all that other good stuff. And we'll be back covering Young Justice each and every week. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back next time. Big gold bell.